your life could be better now. That is a statement that you could make at any point in your life, because that is always the case for all of us. Doesn't matter where you are in your life right now. Doesn't matter how successful you are in material sense, but you could still be better. And I'm saying now because you exist at a different time in the world. And if you haven't figured that out, you have to wonder what's going on. Something has changed. The weather is going crazy, and everyone's looking at that, and we're having pandemic after possible pandemic coming around. And why is that happening? And everything that you're seeing is information that I've talked about, written about, or channeled over the last more than 2 years. And so what I'm saying is that you could be better if you decided to become who you were. That's all. We all have these journeys that we're meant to be on in this physical life, this experience. We don't live forever. You probably figured that out because you've seen people die before. So you have to think, well, wait a minute, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? And it's not, if you think it's about just getting a lot of money, then that could be better for you, and that would be part of your mission, why you were here now. But we each have one. We just judge it, and we don't know how powerful it could be. And what is happening in the world now is we're splitting apart. And so this is why you're going to need to know who you are. This is why all of my work is about guiding you to becoming your authentic self. Because when you get there, when you become your authentic self, you're not afraid anymore. You don't doubt yourself. You don't think the world is going to fall apart, because you have a different level of awareness by that time. Because you were given everything when you were born, but you just had a different path that you had to follow and move through. And we all have them, but none of them is more important than another. It's just what we do in our heads with it. That's what I did. I would watch everyone else doing the work that I'm doing, and I would think, oh, they're better than me. And then I would think, and then I would listen, and I go, no, that's not true. There was one channeling session that you might have heard a while ago, where my Wilhelm said, oh yeah, Roger was watching a Deepak Chopra presentation, and he sat there and got pissed off. That's what came through. The reason I was upset, because I knew all the information that Deepak Chopra was saying, because I've received it. But I had to move through my own blockages, my own doubt, to be able to embrace it. And that's what you're doing. We're all doing it right now because the world is changing. And I'm not making this up, because you can see it. You can see what's happening. And when I spoke about, and I'm going to talk about this too, because I want you to understand, we each come into the world to live a life that we can feel, that our autonomy, our sovereignty, that we have a right to be here. But then when you don't have that, when you don't develop that within yourself, then everyone else will control you, or they will attempt to control you. When we have shifts in our society, as we're moving through right now, because we are moving through it, and it's not anything that anyone has experienced, we have not done this, and so when we move through that, people can become afraid. And then when they become afraid, they want to hold on to power, and then what they will do is try to make you feel weak. This is why you need to know who you are and become your authentic self. This is why I do the work that I do. When I had many of you might have heard about my YouTube channel, how it was hacked, and I know that it was part of what's going on in my country, which is our election mess, because people want to hold on to power again. And so they're bypassing, taking my channel to stream other information to indoctrinate other people. That's what happens. So you have to know who you are, or otherwise you will believe anything that's given to you. That's what's happening, and that is what has caused all the division, all the hatred, all the anger, and that's happening in our world now. And so, yeah, I'm this crazy person who decided that I was going to change things, because what I know is that if we had more people who knew who they were, who understood how important they were, we wouldn't be doing all this other stuff. We wouldn't fight one another. We wouldn't be angry. We wouldn't be involved in criminal behavior, because there's a lot of that going on. We wouldn't be breaking laws. We would care about ourselves first, and then we would start caring about everyone else. Can you see how that would change the world? Well, yeah, I can. And because I have that vision, and if you've listened to any of my recordings, you will know that I have this ancient memory that I can bring things up, so I know what's going on. And it was difficult for me to talk about that, because we all want this validation. Well, I've had more than I've had it for most of my life. However, in the last more than 2 years, I've had it. And all you have to do is read any of my writings, and you can see it came through, and we're seeing things happening in the world. And you will ask, how did Roger know that? I didn't know I was going to know it. You didn't know what you have within you. But the most fun thing is finding it. Now, when you I received something else. I'm going to talk about this really quickly because it's in my any advice message for today, but I received an email from a person who was going through a really, really terrible time, and their bodies were just a mess. And we will have physical ailments show up when we're resisting becoming ourselves. That's what it is. And I can talk about it because I've done it so many times. I've had so many ailments, and I've said that, so many diseases, ailments, that I've moved through because I stopped resisting. But it's a process, and it was a challenging one, but I did it. And the reward of changing and what you get afterwards is, you can't even explain what that is like, but it's a journey. But I want to talk about it a little bit more in my workshop because I'm going to explain it all to you. I'm going to do a channeling session on Monday, and then I'm going to do a workshop where I'm going to give you everything, the complete story, how this came about. You will understand what's happening in the world a bit more, and you will understand you. That's my most important goal, is to get you to embrace, love, accept exactly who you are, because that's what we need in the world. You will see. You will understand this soon.